Hey guys, it's Angela, and today I'm going to tell you about the 18 books I plan to read during the month of September. So, during the month of September, me and 5 other friends who I will have linked down below are hosting a Stranger Things themed readathon. I'll leave the announcement video down below if you want to see it, but basically there's a bunch of teams. Each team has 6 prompts, and you're supposed to try to read the most pages in a month. So, I've decided that I want to do all 18 challenges. So let's get into the 18 books I hope to read during the month of September. So first I'm going to start off with the challenges for my team, Eagle's Nest. And the first is Murray, Read a Hate to Love Romance. And for that I've chosen The Wallflower Wager by Tessa Dare. I've really been getting into historical romances lately, and I loved the first 2 books in this series. So this book follows Penelope, and she loves animals, which I love. I love animals too. She's a big animal lover, and she loves to rescue them, and she has all sorts of weird animals at her house. And this guy moves next door, and he is not happy with it, and he wants her to get rid of the animals. He thinks they're a nuisance. And yeah, it basically goes from there. They get off to a rough start, but I'm really excited for it. The next challenge is Joyce. Why are all these magnets losing their magnetism? Read a book that you've always felt drawn to. And a book I've always felt drawn to is Smoke Gets in Your Eyes and Other Lessons from the Crematory by Caitlin Doughty. I actually picked this book up in 2017 because I was drawn to it then, and it's just been sitting on my shelves for no reason. I don't know why I haven't picked it up yet, so now is the perfect time. This is a nonfiction book told by a mortician, and I guess it's really funny in an appropriate way, and I don't know, I'm super duper excited to read it. The next challenge is Hopper. I want you to feel like this can be your home. Read a book that feels like home. And for me, that is Check Please by Nagazi Yuzaku, and this is a beautifully illustrated graphic novel about a kid going to college and joining the hockey team, and he's gay, and it's just so good. I read this when it first came out, and I just loved it so much, and I want to revisit it so I can pick up the second. Next challenge is Alexei. Read a book with red on the cover. And for that, I've chosen The Anatomical Shape of a Heart by Jen Bennett. And this is a YA romance novel following a girl named Beatrix who wants to draw human cadavers, and a boy named Jack who is a great graffiti artist, and they both have some pasts and some family stuff going on, and yeah, it's a romance between them. That's all I know. Next, Summer Carnival. Read a fun fantasy book. And for that, I want to read Down Among the Sticks and Bones by Shauna Maguire. This is the second book in her Wayward Children series, and this follows children who go to different portal worlds like Wonderland or Narnia, and then they come back to the real world, and they have to cope with that, and there's this place they can go to do so. I really enjoyed the first one, and it was kind of dark, darker than I was expecting, and I really liked that element, so I'm hoping that that sticks in the second book too. The sixth and final challenge for my team, Eagle's Nest, is The Upside Down. Read a book outside of your comfort zone. And for this, I've chosen A Cold River by William Judson. And my boyfriend loves this book, and he gave it to me in 2018 to borrow. And it's been sitting on my shelves ever since. So yeah, sorry. But the reason this is kind of out of my comfort zone is because it's a nonfiction survival story. At least I'm pretty sure it's nonfiction. It follows this father and his kids while they're camping in the Adirondacks in the winter or something. And then the father dies, and the children and teenagers are basically fighting for survival. It's pretty short, so I don't know why it's taken me this long, but I'm excited to pick it up, and I hope I like it. Now onto the Scoops Troop, and the first challenge for the Scoops Troop is Dustin, read a sci-fi book. And for that, I've chosen We Are the Ants by Shauna Maguire. And this follows a high school boy who's just overall really struggling in life. He's really going through it. And he gets abducted by aliens, and then they give him this button and send him back to Earth. They give him this button, and this button will essentially end the world. So he has 144 days to decide if he wants to press this button and end the world. So he's kind of going through internal conflict, external conflict. Sounds really good. Next, Erica. Read a middle grade book. And the book I've chosen for this is The Girl Who Drank the Moon by Kelly Barnhill. I've heard nothing but great things about this book. This book is about this witch who lives in the woods outside of a town, and every year the town gives her, like, sacrifices a baby to her. So they basically just give her this baby as like a sacrifice. So what she does is she feeds it Starlight and like sends it on its way. But then one year she messes up and she feeds the baby Moonlight, which gives the baby a lot of powers, and now she has to keep the baby. So that's what this is about, and I'm so excited to read it. I've been wanting to pick it up for so long. Next, Robin. Read a book featuring a female-female relationship. And for this, I've chosen an arc that comes out on September 15th, and that is Who I Was With Her by Nita Tyndall. And this follows a girl named Connie who is in love with this girl named Maggie, and Connie is a closeted bisexual, and then Maggie dies. And Connie is really going through it. She's really mourning, but also no one even knew their relationship existed. So on another level, it's even harder for her. So it's about her coming to terms with that, and the only person she is able to confide in is the ex-girlfriend of Connie's girlfriend Maggie, who passed away. So I'm sure this is going to definitely be a heavy read, but I'm really excited to pick it up, and the cover is beautiful. Next, Steve. Read a popular book, and for this I've chosen The Book Thief by Marcus Zuzak. And I'm going to be really honest with you, I don't know a lot about this book, and I kind of want to keep it that way, which is insane to me because this book is extremely popular and loved, but I only know that it's told through the perspective of death, which I find to be so fascinating, and I'm really excited to pick it up. Next, USS Butterscotch. Read a sweet read, and I found the perfect book for this, and that is Stay Sweet by Siobhan Vivian. This is a fun summer contemporary, maybe romance, I don't know, contemporary, about this girl named Amelia who starts working at this ice cream shop, and things are going really great, but then the nephew, who's named Grady, of the owner of the ice cream shop, starts to work there with her, and Amelia and Grady just don't get along, and it's a big issue for work. So this book was absolutely perfect. I've been wanting to pick it up all summer, but just haven't gotten to it, so it's going to be a summery September read. And the sixth and final prompt for the Scoops Troop group is Starcourt Mall. Read a book you've bought recently. And for that, I've chosen The Black Flamingo by Dean Atta. And I am so excited to read this book. This follows a mixed-race gay teen who discovers the world of drag. And I've also heard that it's written in verse, which I love. I personally love books written in verse. I don't think there's enough of them. So I can't wait to pick this up, and the cover is beautiful. So now on to the third and final team, which is the Griswold Fam. And their first prompt is Max and 11. Read a book with a strong female friendship. And for that, I've chosen Blood Promise by Rochelle Mead. This is the fourth book in the Vampire Academy series. I've been going through these once a month, and so far I've really enjoyed them. The third book left off on such a cliffhanger. I was like, oh my gosh, I wanted to pick it up immediately, but I knew I wanted to read it in September for this readathon. And in this book we follow Rose and Lissa, and Rose is Lissa's protector, and they have a really strong female friendship, which is why I chose this book for the prompt. Nancy. And for this you can read a nonfiction or a mystery novel, and I've chosen nonfiction. And the book I've chosen is Sitting Pretty, The View from My Ordinary Disabled Body by Rebecca Tozig, and I'm so excited to read this. This is her memoir talking about being disabled, and it also reflects on disability in movies and TV shows and how things are represented and stuff like that, and I am so excited to read this. Next, Jonathan. Read a book with a picture-perfect cover. And for that, I've chosen Secret of a Summer's Night by Lisa Kleypas. This is the first book in her Wallflower series, and it follows a group of girls who are wallflowers, and that means they sort of like always sit on the side, and they just don't really fit in, and they're having trouble finding love. And so these four girls decide that they want to help each other find love, and the cover is really pretty, so that's why I picked it. Next, Mike. Read a book that has a soft boy main character. And for that, I've chosen Check Please Volume 2, because I've read Volume 1 and I know that this character is just really soft and fluffy, and I'm so excited to pick this up, as well as reread the first. Next we have Will. Read an underhyped or underappreciated book, and for that I've chosen Undead Girl Gang by Lily Anderson. I heard a little bit about this when it first came out, but since then I haven't heard anyone talk about it, and the premise sounds so interesting to me. This is about a teenage witch named Mila who has a best friend, Riley, and Riley dies alongside a bunch of other mean girls that they didn't associate themselves with in school. So when all of the girls die, everyone thinks that it was a suicide pact, but Riley refuses to believe, one, that her best friend would commit suicide, and two, that she would commit suicide alongside the mean girls. So Mila decides to do something unthinkable and raise all the girls that just recently died from the dead to find out who murdered them. The sixth and final challenge for the Griswold family is Lucas. Read a book by a black author or a book featuring a black main character. And for this, I chose The Hate You Give by Angie Thomas, and this follows a girl, Star, whose childhood best friend is killed at the hands of police officers, and she's trying to figure out what happened. I've heard nothing but amazing things about this book. I'm honestly shocked it's taken me this long to pick it up, because I've had it on my shelf for a while, but I'm so excited to read this. I know it's going to be such an important read, and I know that I'm going to walk away from this book with something. So those are the 18 books I want to read in September, which is a lot. My reading per month has been about 17 books lately, so I don't think it's not unattainable with the speed I've been reading at, but also I'm a full-time college student now, and I just started this week. So I'm going to have a lot of schoolwork. So hopefully I can do it. Hopefully I can get it done. I encourage you to go down below and watch the announcement video if you're interested in participating in the Stranger Things Readathon. It is running from the whole month of September, with the main goal being read as many books as you can in the month of September. And if you want to do the challenges for the teams, you can, and if you don't have to. It's really chill, and it's just all about reading as much as you can. So thank you guys so much for watching, and as always, have a good one.